Hi, Aries, and welcome to August 2021 and the magic of Leo season. I think especially for Aries energy, the Aries Libra or the Aries Leo, connection is such a good one. I love it when fire signs get together and hang out and we talk. There's nothing more fun to me than that. I love hanging out with fellow fire signs because we tend to have big old loud mouths, but we also are very open and playful and want things to be fun and joyful. So anyway, I'm excited to sit down with you all this month. And of course, yes, the sun is moving through Leo. So it is at home in its home sign and it's amplifying your fifth house of your heart and your creativity and your childlike joy. So what an exciting season for you. The first 3 weeks of August are going to have that impact. We also have Mercury in Leo for the first 10 days of the month. We have Venus moving into your opposing relationship house sign of Libra this month. How exciting is that? We have a new moon in Leo early on in the month, which is going to be expanding that heart creative energy. We have a full moon in Aquarius near the very end of Leo season that is going to be just opening the way for community, friendship, what role you want to play in your life. And there's a lot of really supportive energy just working with you all month. Even when we move into Virgo season, like I said, we'll have Venus in your relationship house, which is going to be so romantic. And then as energy is moving through Virgo as well, we're going to have this playfulness of kind of adjusting and tweaking your rituals, your routines, so that you really feel supported and held, and you can let that fiery Aries energy play in the world. This month's also I just love this month because we have all the outer planets retrograde this month, and I like that. Uranus will be joining Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune, and Saturn in their retrogrades. So we'll have these five outer planets retrograde, and it's just a beautiful time to understand how we've grown. Uranus hasn't been retrograde since January at the beginning of the year, so you can kind of take a moment here in August to really take a look around and notice how you've grown and changed. Notice how your self-worth, your self-value has gotten louder and stronger. I had a couple notes for Aries this month in the context of everything I've just said. One of them is this month is going to ask you to dispel the myth that there's some perfect day next month, next year to be creative, be vulnerable, be open, be ready, be worthy of whatever it is that you have in your heart. And showing up to whatever that is for even 5 minutes a day is powerful. It's so powerful. I think culturally we're often trained to only count the big, I just spent 20 hours at my computer writing. I just sold all my stuff and I moved to the woods. And if that's your style and that's how you're exploring your creativity and your life, I'm not judging that. But what I am saying is it's important for us to give ourselves that 5 or 10 minute practice because the impacts are huge. They're huge. And so that was one of the first things. Let yourself show up to that blank canvas. Let your creative, whatever that is, whether it's your creativity could look like so many different things, from organizing things to making spreadsheets to literally painting or dancing to networking. I mean, there's so many ways creativity shows up in the world, right? It's energy moving. Whatever that is for you, to just let yourself show up to it, not hold yourself back from it. This month is going to ask you again and again. Are you not even letting yourself show up because you don't feel worthy of showing up? Because this month is going to ask you to do just that. Let me start shuffling. I had this other note that came through as I'm shuffling here. And it was to really value the stories of your life, not to downgrade or downplay the beauty of your life. The Fool. Hello. I love that. That's so perfect for Aries. Fool energy is so perfect for Aries. I like it. I'm just digging this August energy. It has such a different feel. So good. Because I was thinking about it. I have so many childhood stories, and I remember, because I grew up in just a really unique place in the Southwest, out by the edge of like a juniper pine forest, and I just spent my days, I lived way out in the countryside, playing in the dirt and in the forest, and I had this vivid memory of, we have cicadas that come in the summer. It's not every year when I was growing up, and they're like these beetles that sing, and they're throughout the U.S. 7 of Cups and other places too, I think. But there would be some years when there would be so many cicadas in the trees. I mean, on a hot afternoon, you just hear them out there just singing away. And in the evenings, my sister and I would just go climb trees and play in the forest, and we'd collect all of these cicada exoskeletons that they would shed after they had come out of their burrows. 6 of Wands. And we just thought these things were the coolest thing ever, like treasure. And I mean, they're exoskeletons. They're very bizarre. And we had so much fun collecting these exoskeletons and connecting with the natural world. And it's like little moments like that. 3 of Swords. Interesting little addition there at the end to all of this powerful energy. But it was such a precious time in my life that I kind of take for granted, and I don't think of as this beautiful, cool thing. But when I think about like the vividness, like the smell of the forest, and just being this like scrappy little kid growing up in the woods, playing with these juniper pines and these exoskeletons, and picking up, like there was all sorts of treasures in that forest, even though it was like, it's a very harsh climate in many ways. And how beautiful it was to take the time to remember these stories and to incorporate them into the beauty of who I am, instead of just being like, I just grew up and it was boring. So tell your stories, share your stories, let all those little details of who you were as a kid, how you grew up, or who you were in school, or wherever in life there was moments of magic or empowerment. Give yourself that gift, because it's so easy to forget. We have all these little elements that make us the wild vision of who we are today. And the more we embrace that, the more that we're going to sit into ourselves in a way that is like centered and beautiful and safe. So that's what I have to say about that. Now let's talk about these cards, because we have quite the odyssey going on here. August, this is a collective message. It keeps coming through, and every time it comes through, I seriously get goosebumps. Is a time to set the table of your life. Is a time to set your table, set those intentions out on the table for this upcoming season. Things are going to be changing very quickly for the next 6 months or 7 months, and then continuing on, of course. And this is a moment in time to set that table. Now we have the Fool, which is telling me, this is a new energetic chapter for you. And new energetic chapters start all the time. It's not like we just get one energetic chapter every decade. I find, I feel like I have a new energetic chapter like pretty much every season of my life. So this can be bigger or maybe more seasonal for you, but there is this invitation to open yourself up to your wildness, to open yourself up to your creativity, to stop undermining it, to stop saying, I'm not allowed, it's not good enough, I need the permission, I need somebody to tell me it's okay, I need there to be this day that's going to be perfect for me to tell that person I care about them, or to paint that painting, or to read that book, or to read that chapter, or to start, or to sign up for that class, whatever it is. The Fool is saying, this month, this is the time. Start showing up. Now, within that, the 7 of Cups is kind of bringing up a distinction here about what you feel you need to pick up. I think the message is somewhat that how do I put this? The message is somewhat that you don't need to pick everything up. You don't need to put a ton of pressure on yourself in August to suddenly pick up every single possible identity project. Be selective. Be discerning. Do the things that you really care about. Not what you think other people need from you. Not what you think you're supposed to do or what's going to look cool. Pick up the cup that is going to feed your soul. And this might take some review, because I know that I've definitely had cups that I felt like, but everybody else is picking up this cup and it seems really cool and I want it and I want to do this thing, but I don't want to do it. And I would use a lot of energy trying to pick that cup up, trying to be like X, Y, and Z, right? Because I'd convinced myself it was a cup I needed to pick up because it seems cool. Pick up the cup that is yours, that comes from your journey, that comes from what makes you unique and beautiful, that comes from what makes your Aries soul special. Because each Aries I've ever known, y'all are so different, truly. I know a lot of very quiet Aries, actually, who they're very powerful people, but they're so observant and so to the point. And the energy and the power they bring, I think, comes from them embracing so fully that that's who they are. And that's one of the magic of Aries, I think, is that self-embracing. So this month is asking you to do that and to just pick up the cups that are meant for you, but really pick them up deliberately. Really do that. And don't force yourself to pick up cups that feel a little hollow. Be brave enough to just put them down. No FOMO here. JOMO is like, when I found the phrase JOMO, which I know, like, at this point, do we say FOMO? I don't even know anymore. JOMO is the joy of missing out. There are so many things I miss out on in life, and I am fine with that, because that means that I get to be where I want to be, which is painting, which is smelling the fresh air, which is spending time with the people that really matter to me. You know, it's these things that I love to do. So, big distinction there with the Fool energy. Use that Fool energy wisely. Don't force yourself to be the fool in things that don't matter to you. And you know what? If you show up at that page, if you show up to that conversation, if you show up to that thing that has been tapping on your window, maybe for a few months now, things are going to happen quickly. As soon as you let your energy start to flow, you let yourself show up, you let yourself get in there. Just the letting of yourself show up brings about like 10 steps of things that are going to happen. So much triumph, so much. And you know, triumph to me is that sense of really being with yourself, of that sense of really being who you are, right? And you just feel so relaxed in it that when you wake up, you're not having to self-betray, you're not having to turn yourself into 100 different versions of yourself. I mean, another childhood story for me was I realized that I have a really hard time first thing in the morning waking up. I get into this really dark mood almost immediately. And I think there's a lot of people like me. And I've been working on this for a little while because I wanted to get to the root of it. And I realized for me, waking up as a kid, and I think this is true for so many people, I knew that I was going to have to wake up, get dressed, and go betray myself all day long, right? Because I was going to have to sit at a desk and act like I was okay for 8 hours, 7 hours, whatever, however long the school day was. And that I wasn't going to get to dance around or be creative in the way I wanted to be creative most of the time. And I realized that I had this really strong connection with waking up and self-betrayal, right? And when we wake up knowing that we are going to do things in the day that align with who we truly are, life feels so much better. So this month is just an opportunity to really take a look around and check all those details of what's working for you. Even just like what you're eating in the morning. How does it feel? Are you having low energy? Does it make you sluggish? Does it excite you? I don't know. There's so many places you can do this adjusting. Now we have the Three of Swords, and this is really interesting. As you all know, I don't ever read cards for drama because I'm not interested in that. I am not interested in us replaying trauma over and over and over again, and then me sitting here and telling you that you're going to have trauma. I just don't think it's of service or true. Three of Swords speaks to where we keep putting those swords in our own heart. So this is like the medicine of Three of Swords is always so funny because it's where we keep inserting ourselves in situations that hurt. And that can range from relationships that hurt to just situations that hurt. Keep going into that work environment where people are kind of cruel, or keep going to bed at 2 a.m. even though your body freaks out on you. Everybody's going to have their own thing. For some of you, maybe going to bed at 2 a.m. works way better and sleeping in works way better. But regardless, the Three of Swords always speaks to what in your life do you keep plugging yourself into over and over and over again, and knowing that it hurts every time. And it doesn't always have to be, and I keep saying this to people, but I think it's so important, it doesn't always have to be these huge dramatic things. Sometimes we plug ourselves into something that's pretty small, like for me, I have a total intolerance to avocado, which is tragic. And it happened to me when I was like 25. Suddenly eating avocado would make me so sick, and I still to this day will sneak little bits of avocado. But, for a while there, for a couple of years, I would sometimes just order something with a whole bunch of avocado on it because I missed avocado and I wanted it in my life. So I would eat that avocado. I was going to have it, and it would feel awful. And at some point I was like, I'm really tired of inserting myself in this situation where I am willfully making myself feel sick for, 6 hours because I want to be free and rebellious. And I realized that this was a dynamic that I didn't want to continue. And so it can be simple things like that. It doesn't always have to be the big drama. Maybe there are bigger things in your life but you're being invited to put way more emphasis on this Fool energy and to really look at where you're inserting yourself still in dynamics that hurt. And like I said, this doesn't have to, it's not about being dramatic this month. It's about being very honest. We are setting the table for a new season for us as a collective. And we want to make sure that each of us is setting ourselves up to be a part of that process in a way that really is our soul signature, that really is self-respecting, right? So that we can be a part of some of these great things that are coming. So it's really important we use this smooth August, this much more symbiotic August to our advantage. And August is here for you, Aries. Like, this is an amazing time for Aries in general. So let's do a toast to you all. I wish you a creative, robust, dynamic month, full of creative joy, freedom, a sense of unblocking, a sense of honesty, a sense of ease, purpose, joy, and all that good stuff. I wish you to feel like you can steer your own ship and you are allowed to make changes that feel good to you at a soul level. And I just wish you such a magical August, my Aries friends. I love you so much. I'd love to see you here. As always, so amazing to sit here every month. So if you like and subscribe, I'd love to see you around. I will also love to see you on my Patreon, where I'm going to be talking much more about my personal journey, how I'm navigating all of this, and what it feels like to be navigating some of the life things I'm navigating. It's just a person. And I'd love to see you on Instagram as well. So I'll leave all my links below. And I love you all so much. Talk to you soon.